Haven't had a chance to talk to you guys since Monday. First and foremost, thought the energy and the environment Monday night, always one of my favorite days of the whole year when we get the night practice in. Thought it was really competitive. A lot of really good work. Had some live work for the threes, which was good to see those guys in anticipation of them. Trying to bring home a win for us on Saturday against a good Texans team. Speaking of which, Houston Texans are a really good football team, and the way Nick and D'Amico put that team together, expecting them to have a bunch of depth, which will test our depth in a game that, anytime you line it up, you want to go try to put your best foot forward to win a game, and looking forward to seeing our football philosophy that we've been trying to instill in our team and our players are taking ownership of. Looking forward to seeing that come to life Saturday, opening up US Bank Stadium, which will be phenomenal. And just before I take any questions, in regards to the NFL statement regarding Jordan's suspension, clearly something that we're gonna move forward, and with respect to that and the 3-game suspension, Jordan will be with us for the rest of training camp. He's been having a great training camp, and then we'll be without him for those first 3 days or first 3 games of the season. But I do like the fact that with the kind of update to how that goes, he'll be out the first week, but then he's back in the building weeks 2 and 3, just not obviously participating in the games. So expecting Jordan to have a great season with where he's at in his career, and his timeline and horizon here has led him to have a great season with the work he's put in. A temporary setback to that getting going, and we'll obviously need some guys to step up. But as we kind of without as much discussion and lead into last year, we did only have him for the first couple quarters of the season, and inevitably we're able to find a way to win 3 games to start out that season. So that'll be the plan, taking it a week at a time, taking it a day at a time throughout this training camp has put our football team in a good position. And my expectation is we have a great day today and compete and lead into Saturday and have a good performance.
How does losing him impact your offense for the first 3 games, and how do you potentially see replacing him?
Yeah, so although it was announced and announced to us as well, we had we've kind of been aware that this was a possibility. So we've had a competitive camp in place for the rest of the depth of that room. I've talked about the depth in that room. But at the same time, having lived, 2.5 games to start last year without Jordan and TJ Hawkinson at the same time, with the expectation we'll have TJ, full complement, of our group with Jets as well. For that opener, we just got to play good football. We got to do the things that good offenses do, both pre-snap and post-snap, and we will be answering some of those questions as far as people on the outside might have, and some of the guys down the roster as far as down the depth chart. But my anticipation is these guys will keep building on the camp they've had, and we'll figure out exactly what that looks like for the opener as we shape this roster.
To Jordan going forward, I know this wasn't a surprise. You expected the suspension, but has there been a clear message given to him how to take this and go forward with it?
Yeah, I think the important thing to remember is, this has been a pretty lengthy, and I respect the fact that the NFL, goes, through the process that they do. But we're talking about something that a lot of those conversations, if we're only talking about path moving forward and Jordan Addison and how he's growing and improving and on and off the field every single day, if we're only talking about those things after the discipline comes, I'm probably not doing my job. Jordan's well aware of the standard that he's been living up to. He's done a phenomenal job, not only this camp, but before that, continuing to understand he's taking full accountability with that suspension becoming official. But Jordan's daily, weekly, and continued presence in our organization is a very positive one, and he knows that that's my expectation, and our relationship is something we talk about a lot of how much I view him as an ascending player with great leadership traits to help set the standard for players coming behind him.
Coach, in the last couple of years, last 5-10 years or so, it's been tough for the Vikings to string together double-digit win seasons. Last year, coming off a 14-3 win season, and arguably are better this year. Are there some things that you've done in this offseason mentally, you or the staff or the players, to help build on momentum going into this season?
Yeah, I think it's important to, although, what was your time horizon you mentioned?
Like 5-8 years. It's tough
Yeah.
to get double digits in a row.
Yeah, so I can't really speak too much to before 2022 and would prefer not to. But what I can tell you is I think it's important to look at our 3-year time horizon here that leads us into this year. And I think it's pretty clear to me the direction we're going. But I look at 2022, establishing a culture, everything's new. Success kind of came our way. We won a lot of one-score games, found a way to do a lot of things that were unique for the first year of an operation, whether it's greatest comeback in NFL history or winning the way we did in Buffalo, or finding a way to secure the division, like I said, and then it doesn't end the way you want. Tremendous adversity, in 2023 with some of the injuries, and that was really our chance to test this culture that had been built, and that was maybe what I was most proud of, as I've told our team of, when things aren't going your way, I'm a big believer in those are the moments that really define who you really are. Anybody can put a smile on their face when success is going on, but long after adversity hits, you can look back and really figure out what and who you are. And I thought our team and our organization did that in a very adverse-driven year in 2023. And then last year, as I said, at the start of training camp, there were folks that thought we could potentially have the first pick in the draft when we were going into last year's season, which means you're the worst team in football, and we found a way to just kind of block all that out and prove that we can do that. And I think you figure out year in and year out what the message is. And to me, the message to our team this year is we've proven we can win football games. We've proven we can play to a standard. But in those moments that you earn the right to be a part of late in the season and on into the second season, are you going to be worthy of that moment? And every little thing we do needs to be done at a standard that is worthy of those moments. And that's kind of how we've gone about talking to our team, and we'll go from there.
What role does a preseason game play for you in the evaluation process with JJ? What kind of things do you pull from that to talk with him about as you go through?
Yeah, it's just another small, circumstance of the process that we're building moving forward with him. But it is, you get a chance to wake up on Saturday morning and get in your car and drive to US Bank Stadium, go through the pregame warm-ups and build up to inevitably the ball getting kicked off, and you run out there and lead a group, lead a unit, and try to put together some successful sequences of plays. And then there's going to be a bunch of things that he will personally feel that we can build upon. There's going to be a bunch of things as a team that hopefully we can build upon, and then there's going to be some coachable moments as well that are all part of the process, getting him ready to go towards the season. So another part of many slivers of the process that we've seen already and we'll continue to see next week with some joint practice work and what we have planned for the final week leading into the final preseason game. So looking forward to it all. But anytime you're putting on the Vikings uniform and going to play, I want our whole team, regardless of whether you play one snap or 70 snaps, I want our whole team to be prepared and using that for what it is, which is a dress rehearsal for 17 opportunities to come.
Where's the thing you've been working on with JJ to make sure he's able to make every throw during the season? And then where would you rank his arm compared to the other quarterbacks in the NFL?
As far as your first part of your question, like certain throws for getting prepared for the season, I think it's just an array of what our offense presents from a standpoint of the quick game, the drop back pass game, some of the weighty downs in the third down red zone. Those are all different kind of throws depending on where you are in the drop back game and where you are on the field, in regards to where you're going to try to throw those balls. Then you have the play pass game where you're trying to obviously put defenders in conflicts to open up voids and vacancies. And then you've got some things outside of the pocket in the movement game, screen game. So really there's no throws in particular. We're just trying to expose him and to as many of those throws as we can, you're not going to even be able to get all of them repped in training camp in the 11-on-11 setting. That's why we have different phases of the practice, and then you're not going to show a whole lot in the preseason games. I mean, that's both sides. And then what was the second part of your question? Yeah, I mean, I've said from day one, I know that gets talked about a lot, but I've said from day one, arm strength is not something that I question whatsoever. I think he's got a very strong arm. I don't know, there's a lot of layers to rankings. That's why I tend to let the rankings be, done by you folks, and I'll keep it that way. But I will say there's a lot more than playing the quarterback position than just arm strength. That term arm talent, I'm not going to bore you with my definition of it, but it is a very important part of the position as well.
Getting Justin ramped up to play or participate in those practices next week?
Oh yeah, no, ideally you'd love to get him. I'd love for him to practice today if we could, but we'll continue kind of ramping him up, and you guys have seen him. If he's not running to try to tackle me before practice today, which has kind of been a normal occurrence, he certainly looks healthy when he's trying to tackle me pre-practice here. But he's clearly building up to a point where he's going to be 100%. We're going to get him back out there.
Last couple. With Jordan being out, is there a thought process to be even more careful with Justin, since if he tweaks that thing before Chicago, now you're down your top two guys?
Yeah.
Is there more a careful approach with Jefferson based on what you figured was going to happen to Jordan?
Yeah, I think that's a really smart observation. That, like I said, we didn't when the news came down on Jordan, it wasn't a shock to me based upon where we've been at. So we obviously want to make sure Justin has a great camp, and he's been through. Really, you look at Justin's career that started in a COVID year where there was no preseason games, there was no joint practices, there was no things like that. He was able to prepare himself for that season. Then he's never taken a snap in the preseason outside of the practice field. So he's been able to get himself ready for seasons despite maybe not having the same ramp up, in some of these competitive situations as other folks. And it's also about my trust in Justin to be ready to go, and how impactful he is, not only to our offense but our whole team when the Minnesota Vikings take the field. But yeah, absolutely, we want to make sure we're as healthy as possible, knowing we're going to be, without Jordan there for not only the opener but the first three. That's TJ. That's our O-line with some of these new faces, with CD working back. We're trying to do the best we can. Everybody's on their own individual plans of rehab and building back up. But I'm glad you asked, though, because I did want to update you guys. You will see TJ Hawkinson actually work in today, and then Ryan Kelly will take part a little bit in the walkthrough here, but then we're hoping to get him a little bit of work tomorrow. And then as far as really no other updates, we talked about Justin a little bit, and we'll go from there.
Last two.
Is there maybe one thing with Jordan that you've been impressed with, maybe maturity-wise or something else? Because it's kind of been a long time that he's kind of had to carry this, and he knew something would be coming down. Have you seen a change in him over that time?
I have. There's been a level of maturity that, remember, this I don't know exactly how old he was down to the day, but this was a young player when we got him, and he's a guy that has an absolute heart of gold and loves his teammates, and we get to see him in the moments here on the grass and in the meeting rooms and with his teammates where, quite honestly, he's always at his best. But where I've really seen the growth is Jordan, away from the facility, and just how he prepares his body, how he's got such a mindset for where he wants to go in his career, and he knows it's all a part of it. Look, it's no secret. Like, I'm a huge fan of Jordan Addison and the relationship that I've built with him and that he's built with other people and players in our organization. We're all in his corner, but Jordan's going to continue to need to operate the way he has, and which has been exactly what we had hoped, how he would respond going back to when this initially took place.
Last one.
Devin, how have you seen Josh Oliver grow into the offense over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think when you have a guy like TJ, sometimes it's easy to just kind of list your depth chart at tight end, but really he is such a featured player with how we want to play, run and pass. I mean, because when he's in there, he gives us the ability to run play action protections that some teams, quite honestly, can't run. Because they've featured a weapon in the passing game so much at the tight end position that they kind of just look the other way on some of the true nature of the position, run game, blocking, physicality, pass protection. Those guys can draw some really tough matchups in the play action game. That's why not everybody can do it at a high clip, but Josh allows us to play offense the way we want to play. I thought he stepped up tremendous in TJ's absence last year, early for about half the season it was. He made some plays vertically down the field in the seams. He made some plays in the screen game. He made some plays in the keeper game. And then, you're not going to be, Josh knows this, you're not going to be calling things with some of the other weapons we have in the pass game. But that doesn't mean as another eligible on a play, he's not making tremendous plays on the front or back side of concepts. I think Josh is really the perfect fit for me as the play caller in this offense to pair him with a guy like TJ. And we're very fortunate to have that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.